What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Today we are going to take a look at the $1 trillion market cap that is coming. So with all that being said, we're going to go over some comments by Max Keiser, Microsoft, not necessarily comments by Microsoft, but how they look as a $1 trillion company, gold, and basically investor confidence all throughout this article. But let's go ahead and kick this off by looking at some of these charts here. So as you can see, right now we are sitting at an all-time high again at $543 billion, give or take a couple, million, billion. All right, so right now it's just surging, okay? And it's been on a constant ascent. If we take it all the way back to 3 months ago, let's just look at where this was at. And let's see, November 1st, just so you can see how much growth cryptocurrency's taken on. We were at $184 billion, $184.5 billion, November 1st. Right now we are sitting at 543. So we've more than doubled, we've almost tripled our value in market capitalization for the cryptocurrency market since November 1st, and we're halfway through December. So if we continue on this, we would be looking at a $1 trillion market cap by about February 2018. Now that would mean that we'd have to continue on this trend, but it's possible that it could slow, and it's also possible that it could accelerate. So what's going to happen? What will the prices of some of these, your favorite cryptocurrencies, look in a $1 trillion market cap, right? And I think that's a question that obviously it's subjective, it's up for debate, and there's no clear answer to that. But if we were to just take a look at, you could probably double the price of Bitcoin. You'd probably be looking at around about just under $40,000 Bitcoin. You'd probably be looking at definitely over $1,000 Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash would be interesting to see if that could do it ×3. Ripple might be about $1. These are just off the top of my head. Just obviously there's no real clear analysis going into why I'm coming up with those numbers, but that's just kind of my projections off the top of my head based on what I feel it would be. But you can't. There's no chart to take it. You can't take a chart and say this is where Ripple's going to be, because there's no way to put a chart into effect like that, because you don't know if the growth is going to be accelerated or if it's going to be accelerated for a certain microcosm in the crypto community, right? But it would be safe to assume, for me, to suggest that a $1 trillion market cap would have about just under a $40,000 Bitcoin, if not a $40,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, and Ethereum at 1,000. You know, Cardano maybe sitting at around about 35 cents. EOS probably could really start taking off. And some of these other altcoins will really start to plant themselves and dethrone some of these other ones that have been here for a while. Maybe NEO starts to slide a little bit more. I don't see any reason to say that NEO is going to continue to be a top cryptocurrency. It might grow, it'll grow, but it won't. There'll be some others, maybe like a Lisk will probably start to rise in here more. Omise Go has been due for a run. It's already starting to get a run. Look at this, up 62%. You just get the feeling that at some point Omise Go is going to really, it's hard for Omise Go to take off until their roadmap starts to take into effect, you know, where they start to get the adoption in the Southeast Asian amphitheater for economics, you know, in that region. We already mentioned Monocoin. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these things that Max Keiser has said. So Max Keiser, crypto headed for a $1 trillion market cap. If you don't know who Max Keiser is, you can check out Russia Today, I believe it is. And this article here is on Cointelegraph.com. And this guy he's been accurate a lot. If there was a guy on the level of Mike Novogratz in the crypto space and in the mainstream media, even though Russia Today is not a mainstream media, it's Max Keiser. And he's definitely been on, there is no denying that Max Keiser has been onto cryptocurrency for many years now. He's not just like a guy who's coming out of nowhere saying, oh yeah, buy Bitcoin now all of a sudden, trying to claim fame. This dude has been on Bitcoin. He's been calling for Bitcoin for years now. So this dude is on it. So if you got social media, Twitter, you might want to try and find this guy on there. So they're talking about Bitcoin futures by the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, and these are the things that I like from comments from Max. So nice article and everything. They're talking about RT, but here's what he says. People don't understand that at its heart, Bitcoin is a messaging app first, a store of value secondly, and a medium of exchange third. Whoa, mind blown, right? You're like, whoa, what do you mean a messaging app first? The Satoshi white paper is a bit misleading because it leads off by calling Bitcoin digital cash. Okay, now if someone outside of Max Keiser is saying that, you might be pulling the red card out of the back pocket and saying, I'm calling BS on that. But with Max Keiser saying it, now you got to be like, whoa, mind blown. Okay, Max Keiser just said it, because yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, you can you can go back in time and see what he's had to say about a lot of different things. So let's explore what he means by that. It's kind of misleading. It's not really digital cash until it first establishes itself as a messaging app. Money and economics are the history of communication, trade, and language. Language explodes onto the scene. Trade explodes onto the scene. Messaging apps explode onto the scene, and similarly, Bitcoin has exploded onto the scene. Okay, so these are some interesting comments that he's making about how the evolution of Bitcoin has come into the scene. So now he's going to take a second look here, or another look at a different subject matter. Bitcoin is eating debt. So he's talking about how gold is not really doing its job. So let's take a look. Bitcoin has constantly been called Gold 2.0 by various financial experts, including the likes of the Winklevoss twins and Kaiser himself. However, the American broadcaster insists that Bitcoin's price needs to be related to the global debt to realize its true potential value. Now, this is interesting. So if we look at debt, how high is our debt? I think it's in the trillions, right? I mean, we could go to the debt calculator and pull that up, but so here's a look at the U.S. national debt. It's over at $20 trillion, 20.6 trillion. You can see that's pretty high. Tells you about per citizen, per taxpayer. So the debt burden is a big issue for global economics, and Bitcoin could potentially solve that. And if we just take a look at the worldwide debt clock, okay, this is powered by usdebtclock.org, by the way, if you wanted to check on this. You have the United States with 20 trillion, China with about 2.1 trillion, Japan with 11.6. So almost every country has a grip load of debt, right? So almost every country could benefit greatly from a Bitcoin or a high-valued Bitcoin. Now, with all that being said, gold just hasn't been doing its job. Look at this. Gold sitting at $1,258 per coin. Yeah, that's just not going to get the job done. That means we're just burying ourselves more in debt, and Bitcoin's proving to be Gold 2.0 and more valuable by the second. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. You have to look at Bitcoin in relation to global debt. It's not like $7 trillion in gold. There's $300 trillion in debt. I've done the calculations. That would imply a Bitcoin price of over $2 million a coin to monetize and get rid of that debt. So we as a people cannot continue to live in debt, can we? I mean, that would mean we're living in a failed financial system. So yeah, when you hear that, what does that make you think about owning one full Bitcoin? You start thinking, that one full Bitcoin idea? Yeah, about that. Let's talk about how I can get to one full Bitcoin, right? Now, does that imply, am I implying that Max Keiser's assessment is going to come true? Well, if he did the calculations, that's just based on a calculation, right? So a $2 million Bitcoin could help with some of that debt. And Max Keiser saying it, not me. So, hey, that's interesting to hear. He did the calculations and he came up with that number. Now, it's fitting that overall market cap of cryptocurrency has reached $500 billion in the first week of Bitcoin futures trading. So you know about the Bitcoin futures, right? Now, Max Keiser explained the capacity of future value is only being made bigger. It will create so this is quoting Max, it will create a bigger pipe for more money to flow into Bitcoin. Right now, the pipe is small. It's just relatively minuscule market compared to the bond futures, currency futures, and stock futures. $5 trillion in Forex per day is the market. Bitcoin in that arena is a pipsqueak. By expanding these futures contracts and derivatives, bringing Wall Street and Chicago into the mix, you're taking that small straw, which is an on-ramp for fiat into Bitcoin, and you're making it massively bigger. So what he's saying is like, it's that, remember that herd is coming kind of comment that Mike Novogratz made where he said the herd is coming? And we were comparing it to the Lion King, you know, and the Lion King when the wildebeest are coming across the Nile River Valley and they're kind of trickling through, but in the background you can hear the stampede coming, the herd. That's this right here. So the pipeline's skinny, but once the herd starts coming, it's going to be this massive influx of cash. And people are just going to be dumping money, and you sitting on your Bitcoin are going to benefit from it. So that's why it's really important when I put the thing about day trading into it. It's like, that's cool. Okay, I'm not hating on day trading. I do a little bit of trading here and there too myself. So it's not that I'm concerned about that. It's when the expectations are that the coin is going to go up the next day, that's unrealistic expectations. So you want to collect your thoughts on that and not have those expectations, because we're talking about the big picture here. The big picture here is we're in a small pipeline that's going to be a big pipeline. And that's not going to, that inflation, that growth, that pipeline's not going to inflate to a big pipeline in one day. So to be overly excited about one cryptocurrency is not the point. The point is where the market is going. So yes, we're going to hit $1 trillion. Then we're going to be talking about 2 trillion. Then we're going to be talking about $5 trillion market caps. And the thing about that is, it's like he's saying, basically, it's like one step, but all of a sudden the steps start getting bigger and bigger. It's like the snowball effect. It's like, yeah, it starts out as a small snowball, but as it keeps going down the hill, it keeps building momentum and building size and mass. And that's what we're talking about with the cryptocurrency market and Bitcoin in general. Bitcoin is probably going to be Gold 2.0, and that's going to make it the store of value for cryptocurrency because it's old faithful. It's the one that's been there the longest, wide to thrown it. I know people want to, you know, take other cryptocurrencies and make it alternatives, but it's probably not going to happen. And that's why Litecoin being Silver 2.0 is so exciting for people to get into. And yeah, probably even at this price, guys, Litecoin is severely undervalued. Like all of the main coins are big time undervalued. Ripple, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all undervalued still, even at these all-time highs that they're experiencing, because they have so much room to grow as we go from this small pipeline to this massive pipeline. So if you just take a look at the company of Microsoft, it's a $1 trillion market cap for Microsoft. So for the cryptocurrency market to pass one company is really realistic. So what I'm basically saying to you guys is it's really very highly realistic that this will grow into a $1 trillion market cap, which means that almost all of these here, and a lot of the cryptocurrencies down here, will have a lot of price action in the upward direction, but it's not going to happen overnight. Okay, that's why when you get excited if it goes up overnight, what difference does that make? Because that's not where the big growth and the real growth is going to occur. So that's why I make a video telling you guys, like, I'm not talking about day trading. I do, and I don't want you to think that I'm putting down the idea of day trading. Hey, if a coin goes up 5 times in one day, yeah, I'll take that opportunity to do that, but I'm not expecting that. So it's managing your expectations. And by the way, I'm actually not getting anyone who's actually a hater on that. So it's not that I'm getting a bunch of hate mail or anything, because I'm not getting that. I'm seeing that people are saying, hey Jeff, my Electroneum went down. So what are your thoughts on that? Should I hold? I'm like, absolutely you should hold. Like, what are you going to do? Sell at a loss because it went down 1 penny in one day? No. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not getting any hate mail. So sure, when I say it with conviction and, you know, when I say it with my voice, like basically being kind of, I guess you would say kind of authoritative in the sense that I'm saying, do not manage your expectations better, newbies. Like, what should I be like? The soft and gentle football coach? Like, I mean, we're all men here. Like, yeah, I'm going to talk to you kind of like a general, you know? I also have a military background myself. So, I mean, I'm used to that. That works for me. Like, talking to people with like conviction and when you believe in what you're saying is right to help set people on the correct path. That's what it is. And so absolutely, if you get four to five times gains in a week, take the profit if you want. Okay, you don't have to hold. You don't have to hold for that whole time. It's just don't be taking losses on a cryptocurrency because it went down the next day after you bought it, and then you're questioning your trade and saying sell it. That's not me being a dick or being rude or anything. That's me saying, like, why would you take a loss? Because, I mean, it's going to go up again. That's all it is. But back to the subject of this. So it's very realistic that it's going to get to $1 trillion market cap. Just think of what your favorite coins are going to look like. Some of your positions are going to look like when that happens, and how you can benefit from that. And Max, he's been correct. It's not, you can Google Max Keiser on Bitcoin, and it'll go back almost as far as Roger Ver. Okay, Roger Ver has been doing the same thing, and hate him or love him, it doesn't take away the fact that they've been there since before you were there. You know what I mean? Like, these guys were doing Bitcoin, talking Bitcoin before any of us, including myself. Okay, so whether you like him or not, Roger Ver was talking Bitcoin before you were even talking crypto. So respect. Max Keiser, they were talking Bitcoin before we were. So yeah, when they talk, I'm going to listen because they've been doing it a lot longer than me. They have their finger on the pulse a lot longer than me. And I respect what they're saying, and I recommend that you do too. It's not me being a dick. If it sounds like I'm being a dick, I just talk like this, okay? I'm not trying to put you guys down or make fun of you or anything like that, you know? So anyways, so look at this. You got investors are selling gold to invest in Bitcoin, key to multi-trillion-dollar market cap. So they're saying multi-trillion, you see? Multi-trillion, not just 1 trillion, but multi-trillion. So let's think of that. This is what I'm saying, guys. This growth is going to get like hyper growth. We're looking at potentially hyper growth. Like, it's like we could breeze right through 20,000 all the way to 50,000 in like a flick of a thumb. Like, it could happen like in a week. Like, it could grow that fast. Like, once it goes on a serious bull run, like going from $18,000 Bitcoin to $20,000 Bitcoin is not really a big deal. But when it starts to really go into hyperdrive, we already saw how fast it almost went through 10,000. It pretty much has breezed right through the teens. Like, when did Bitcoin, like, look at this. When did Bitcoin hit 10,000? Let's take a look here. So Bitcoin over the last 3 months, right? So Bitcoin hit 10,000 around about just before December 1st. So it's only been 2 weeks. Feels like it's been a long time since it hit $10,000, right? We're sitting here almost at just under 18,000. And it's tempered itself. It slowed down. It like kind of paced itself because it was on a trajectory to, if it maintained the 62% Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin would already be, you know, sitting at $25,000 a coin. But it's spread out, thankfully, for all us altcoin guys, right? But just imagine the hyper velocity that we've just gotten. From the way it looks, we've just gotten a taste of what it's going to look like when Bitcoin really starts to go. When Bitcoin really starts to go, wow. And we're talking, it's not going to be from the mainstream necessarily. It's going to be from Wall Street. So Bitcoin futures opening that door, they're getting their first taste of what it's like in this Bitcoin thing. The second they get a full taste of it, it's on. So try and get to 1 full Bitcoin if you can. Remember, this is not investment advice. I'm just saying this as a friend, okay? You're not paying me coming into my office where I'm, you know, saying sign this right here. You know, I'm not giving you professional advice. I'm talking to you like we're at a bar, right? You know, so I'm saying, like, trying to get to 1 full Bitcoin, it's probably, if you're doing the math in your head right now and you're taking what Max is saying and you're taking what the market dynamic has already shown in the charts, you're kind of picking up what I'm saying, okay? I'm not selling anything. I don't make any money off you investing in Bitcoin. I don't own Bitcoin. I'm not Satoshi. I don't know Satoshi. And I hold just barely like 1 Bitcoin. Like, and I had to work my butt off for a couple months to get there, you know? Like months, years actually. This has been a year. I bought 1 full Bitcoin in 2014, but I put it into mining and I haven't quite mined 1 Bitcoin out of that. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I at least still get a mine Bitcoin and I've made my money back, you know. But Um, the point is that, yeah, I mean, trying to get to one full Bitcoin is a good thing, I think, if you can. But remember, when you invest in an altcoin, you're betting against Bitcoin. So with all this said in this video, I'd like to hear some of your guys' price projections about where you see Bitcoin at $1 trillion market cap, where you see Ethereum at $1 trillion market cap, where you see Ripple at $1 trillion market cap, and where you see Litecoin at $1 trillion market cap. I want to see so you can use the tickers LTC, BTC, XRP, and ETH. Just, go BTC dash 40K, right? ETH 1K, or whatever you guys think it'll look like. But I definitely want to see where you guys are at with that, because it helps get me thinking. So just in us all communicating that with each other, it's not just me talking, it's a community. We're also corresponding and communicating with each other in the comments. And I am reading the comments, and I am seeing some. I don't see them all, so I apologize if I don't respond to them. But I do see a lot of them. I see some of the ones like, "Hey Jeff, relax. We're not all day traders here." And I see some that are saying, "Hey, yeah, guys, listen to Jeff. Don't day trade." So it's a little bit. It's definitely almost always positive. You guys are a very positive crew, man. I mean, in crypto, we're like brothers. We got each other's back. We look out for each other. Like, we don't talk smack to each other because we got more important things to do than talk smack in the community, But every once in a while, there are internet trolls out there, and they exist, and they might even listen to this. And if you are an internet troll, I guess you have your role. Everyone's got their role. So if you're a troll and you're a troll, do your thing. It's what it is. I accept it. Say what you got to say. And to the rest of us, the majority of us who are, crypto bros, keep it up. Drop those comments, though. Let us know what you think about the pricing. So we'll see you guys later. And yeah, if you're new here, you can subscribe. If you've already subscribed, you can click that bell. We hit 40,000 subscribers, and I was like, who's going to hit 50,000 faster, Bitcoin or Altcoin Buzz? But it turns out Altcoin Buzz chart is like off the hook. We're growing so fast. So I want to thank you guys for subscribing and trusting me with your time to listen to the stuff that I put out there when I'm talking crypto. So cheers to you guys for that. If I could go out and drink a beer with all you guys, that would be awesome. Like, if we could go to this crypto pub or this crypto bar and just sit down and talk about stuff while we have a beer. Who knows? Even get so drunk. Hopefully there'll be some girls there, though, right? But there doesn't have to be girls there, because some of us are married and have girlfriends, and maybe we'll just keep the kids and the wives at home. We'll go talk crypto. It's like football, right? But now we're doing crypto Saturdays, right, at the pub. One of you guys should open up a crypto bar. Not a crypto bar, a blockchain bar. We'll call it blockchain bar or something like that. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think of $1 trillion market cap. See y'all next time.